Hi friends, thanks for returning to Hearts Wide Open, where we tune in, listen to Spirit, keep our hearts wide open. Yeah, you're gonna give me 5? Sparty's ready to pick a card. I did have a vision. I didn't plan on doing this, but we just got back from the river and I'm gonna do 3 sections. And I kind of sat to relax, center myself, and something came in. So, ooh, look at his little treat. Looks like a heart. Very interesting. I'll tell you in a minute why. Okay, which pile? Well, you touched that one. There you go. We're going to go from this pile. And I'm going to have you, there's a card upside down. I'm going to use that as a secondary. Okay, Sparty, pick a card right here. Pick one of the, okay, right there. There you go. Okay. Okay, time to get down now. Thank you so much. Good boy. Good boy. All right, the card is breakthrough. So somebody's about to have a breakthrough. Now let me tell you what I saw. It's very interesting. This is jumping out at me. This is a pink tourmaline, I believe. Pink tourmaline. It looks so much more vibrant, except for on the camera. And, okay, so somebody's about to have a breakthrough. So what I saw was somebody putting on, I just put chapstick on. I'm very natural because I just went to the river, but somebody was putting on magenta, like bright pink lipstick, real full lips. And it was like she's in a bathroom looking in a mirror or something. But then it shifted to like she left, and as she's walking down the street, she's pulling this pink rope. There was a lot of pink, like pink. Here's my rose quartz too. This doesn't even look pink in there, but it is. So there's a lot of pink. So the rope was pink and it had something at the end. And I don't know why it had the vibe of kick the can. Like it's an old game where you kick the can. I think you tied a rope. Maybe you tied it around your ankle. I'm not sure, but that's the vibe it had. But it was a big rope and it was like a leather strap, like a suede strap rope, pink, bright pink. And on the end, it looked like a can, but I think what it was big. Like, you know, I think it looked like a float. There's this rare float. And here on the coast, he has these different floats tied to the front that we found on the beach. I found them and stuff. And so it's the shape of a can, but it's big and it's pink. Carnation pink on that one. So then I'm like, why am I seeing all this with the pink? And I'm like, well, okay, Spirit, I'm open to receive more. And first I had done this spiral with a star. I don't know if your star seed came down, but I got this heart, this pink heart again, but it was like puffy, like 3-dimensional heart, and there was handles on each side of it. So it's almost like a kid's toy, but it was this woman steering it like a steering wheel. So, but it was a heart shape and it had these handles. And then I realized, okay, she's pulling an old trailer. So, see, this is just a quick sketch. So here's the lady walking, and then there's the lady pulling the trailer. And I wrote pulling along someone. So, I don't know, this sounds pretty specific. I don't know if somebody's like, I'm thinking like, you know, Pinky Tuscadero. I love the Pink Panther. I used to wear a lot of pink, actually. So it might be somebody that is really into pink, and maybe this means something. You're either just putting on pink lipstick or whatever. The secondary card that was upside down is actually, I grabbed it upside down because it was, see the colors of these? It was reversed. So I hadn't seen the card, but I just felt like guided to use this card. So gratitude. So that's where we're headed, is to gratitude, because you're about to have a breakthrough. So let's find out more about this person or something that you're having to pull. Yeah, no, I wrote pulling along someone. The rope with the float felt like the old ball and chain expression, like you're dragging somebody along on your journey. So let's see, Spirit, what can we learn more about? Who's coming along for the ride? Who's being pulled along? Well, we got closed curtain, a rusted door. This is something that's been happening for a while with the word rust. It's kind of hidden because it's a closed curtain. Empty luggage. You're emptying your suitcase. You know, you're traveling, you're pulling this trailer, you're pulling this person along. You want to lighten the load. It's an empty suitcase now. So you've let go of a lot. But this person's stuck in the past. Feels like this person's stuck in the past and they're not clearing the baggage. They're not purging. Yeah, and you're at a tipping point. I shuffled all these cards when I was on with my friend this morning, even this deck. So I don't know why all these cards are coming out. This was some cards I saw last night, but that's just the way the universe works. Sometimes you miss a message, you need to get it back out there. Okay, so what can we learn about the person? It's like you're at a tipping point, so you need to make a choice. Hi, sweetheart. You wanna pick? You wanna pick again? I heard to save your own heart, you need to choose. You don't want to leave them behind. Okay, which card? Which card? Oh my goodness, look at you slobbering on there. Which one? I'm going to give you a treat, but you got to pick a card. Good boy. Okay, there it is. Stop pushing and striving. Stop pushing and striving. I'm not sure if I'm getting that. So you're pushing, you're striving for something. To me, it's more like allow. Okay, you want to do another one? You want to do another one? Okay. Feel, don't think. All right, let me get you a treat. Let me get him a treat. So you're striving for something. See, this is kind of the energy I'm feeling. You're striving. You're motivated. You've done a lot of work. You're like ready to move on to a better life, to more abundance, and something's weighing you down. But this is saying stop pushing. So you're struggling because you've got all this weight, but you're determined and you're pushing. But see, that causes resistance. Feel, don't think. Let me get a little more on this. And maybe you already got it. Maybe this is totally in resonance. When you're pulling and they let go and you go back. I don't know. There's something there. Okay, what else do we need to know with this? Lightning branch. Sometimes your awakening doesn't bloom, it erupts. Let's get some more. I keep getting called towards the Sacred Rebel deck. Because you're leaving and you're on your way and you're marching, you're walking and you're towing something, you've got like this drive. You're really determined. It doesn't matter what weight is behind you. It's almost like, even if it was just something super heavy, you're like, no, nothing is stopping me. So you're so determined that you're pushing your way through life when it doesn't have to be that hard. Just feel into what you want. Okay, Spirit, what else do we need to know about what are we pushing towards? What's our drive? Where does our drive stem from? These cards are hard for me to shuffle this way. Okay, Spirit, can we get a card on this? All right. Got a couple. Focus on the light. Number 37, which is a 1. 3 and 7 is 10. So 10, like in tarot, is the end to the cycle and the new beginning. So you're ready for something new. You've been on this journey. You're driven. Like you want this past. You've really lightened your load. And you're like, No, I'm determined. There's a new birth. Yeah. You're guarding it vigilantly. Nobody's going to stop you. Shock of the new. You're in awe of your transformation, I think. You're shocked almost. Like your new rebirth, your awakening, this healing, this purging, whatever you've done, has almost shocked you. Okay, what's another emotion around this? And why can't they, you know, if you're autonomous and maybe your partner or somebody you're pulling along is too, you shouldn't have to pull them. They're either going to meet you or not. Another emotion on why they're so determined to bring this along. Guilt. You're going to feel really guilty and bad by leaving them behind. But everybody has their own choice. I just got chills. Everybody has their own choice to, and their own journey, and their own path. Okay, the card fell out. Some people are just meant to come into your life, I feel. You don't have to feel guilty for what you need at that time, and everybody changes. Things shift. And you don't want to be alone, right? You know, because you're pulling this person along with you, and you don't want to be alone. You'll feel bad leaving them alone. Maybe you'll feel bad because they're isolated after everything, you know. So you've got this dilemma. Yeah. You got to trust the process. You got to trust the process. It is not easy. Boy, I'm in resonance with this reading a lot, actually. Okay, well, this was the final card that came out of the Sacred Rebel deck. It just reminds me of Christmas, of a Christmas tree, this whole scene. But it's relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. See this, I better cover that. This person is completely transforming. There's a lot of growth. There's plants. They've reached the heart chakra. Their heart's open. They're, you know, she's open to receive, very open and receptive to take off. It almost feels like, you know, beam me up, Scotty, type of thing. And that's interesting because of, I don't know if you noticed that, what I first drew. Oh wow, I didn't even realize this. my stick figures. I first drew this like Fibonacci, this spiral, and put a star there, and I thought of a starseed, but look at how I drew this. She's walking, pulling this big, you know, it's like kicking the can, like this big float. She's walking right into a portal. She's walking right into a portal. And she's trying to drive. She's got her heart. She's learned to love herself, I feel like, you know, and she's ready to go, and she's pulling someone along. But, you know, you don't have to keep pulling. Relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. You're asked to go within and imagine diving deep off the edge of what you have known. There is so much more calling to you now. It's your time to leap. That is the last line of this. The healing process, I'm just going with what I'm called. This is the Sacred Rebels Oracle, and it's number 26 if you want to look up the meaning, the full meaning. It's pretty long. But the healing process says to state, I accept the offer of life so that I may truly live through unconditional love. I now invite and receive all assistance, intervention, protection, and inspiration so that I may leap into my next cycle of life. I'm hearing unburdened, unburdened. Held in the loving grace of wisdom. So be it. You may now like to take an actual jump for joy to finish your healing process, because you can leap, because you're not pulling something or someone, where is it, along. They're on their own journey. So Gratitude for all that was and all that is about to be. And that's it. I'm going to leave it there. There's the pink for the healing. If you need to do some healing with your heart chakra, rose quartz is wonderful for that. And thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. I wish you a beautiful afternoon.